Welcome to the Corona Post Show here at the Quiksilver and ROXY Pro GLand. And we have just seen last-minute heroics once again from Jack Robinson taking the title. It's been a long time. Luke Egan was hanging on to that reigning champion title for a long time, but he's had to surrender it to Jack Robinson here today, who had a stunning victory over Felipe Toledo with some last-minute heroics. Ronnie Blakey, Dimity Store, Richie Lovett. Dim, that was really nerve-wracking, the weight that Jack had, and amazing that he held his nerve there in the final stages.
Wow, that was so exciting, and I cannot believe he did it again. Did it in the semi-final and the final.
Rich, what did you make of it?
I thought it was a super clutch moment, and he had to pull out everything on the final wave, and he did it, you know. In reflection, there was probably more he could have done on that wave, but he just did enough, I guess, opting not to go to a super high-risk turn, just getting to the completion so that it was a score coming on the board, and the judges loved it.
I heard Joey mention during the final too, we haven't seen someone go back-to-back on the championship tour since Italo in 2019, Portugal into the Pipe Masters. So that was an incredible achievement. Sitting in number 2 now on the ratings. Felipe's still going to be in number 1. But I think we should have another look at the final bracket and just the work that the competitors had to do to reach that last heat. It was unbelievable. A great lineup in the quarterfinals and some surfers that really needed big results bouncing back here at stop number 6.
Oh, look at this. Every heat in that matchup could be a final. So cool.
Yeah, I loved it. Especially, Rich, I thought that Gabriel Medina just looked unbeatable today when we saw him in that first quarter-final heat. So that was the big surprise result for me, Jack getting the jump on him.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. You can see the yellow line follow Felipe's trail all the way there to a certain extent. I guess he was the favourite of the bottom half of the bracket, and Gabriel was possibly the favourite at the top. But, you know, Jack Robinson just went, no, I'm not going to have any part of that. And just put the stop sign up, went all the way through and, you know, kept his nerve. It was a tricky final to negotiate. It wasn't a whole lot of ways where they were just exchanging good rides throughout it, but, you know, he did enough in the end.
Yeah, he looked unbelievable. He just looked so focused. I'm kind of almost more impressed by Jack's ability to just stay in the game and not lose himself in those high-pressure moments. A lot of other competitors on the championship tour, I don't think, would be able to hold their nerve or hang in there in those high-pressure situations.
Yeah, it does, and it speaks to just how mature Jack is now and how confident he is with his own ability. And I guess all of that sort of meditation and Zen work has got him so centered that when those high pressure situations do happen, he's ready to go, and he just taps in and just feels it.
Well, let's have a look at some of the incredible surfing that he threw our way today on his road to victory. Starting with the quarterfinals, Dimity, we had clean conditions today. It was welcome.
Oh, wasn't it a magic sight this morning? And Jack's just had the eye of the tiger. In between every heat, he's just non-stop doing workouts and physio and working with his trainer, so he's looking like he wants a world title.
And if there was a barrel to be had, Rich, he was the guy who was going to find it.
Yeah, and this one in particular, one of the best barrels of the whole event, just backdoors that section. Have a look at how fast he's travelling through that one, and I love just how he backed it up with a super critical carve straight into the snap, just getting to the finish of all these rides, really just, you know, milking these waves for everything they're worth. And, you know, again, we keep referencing the work he does up on the northern coast of Western Australia here up in the desert, a similar sort of a wave where it's really down the line. And, well, this was the one that tested him, the match-up against Gabriel Medina.
Yeah, I just love the way that Jack didn't let the hype around Gabriel get inside his head, just maintained his focus on his own surfing and really did have some great moments in this clash.
Yeah, I love that. You know, the favourite was always Gabby coming back, and he's looked unstoppable, but Jack just stuck to his guns, and he was throwing out actually some of the biggest moves of the day.
Well, I think that's the move that sort of really got the judges excited in that final exchange there, Rich, just the way he belted it and maintained control, but didn't get caught behind.
No, and it looked like he should have got caught behind after that really critical turn. Set him up, the variety was there, got the barrel. He kind of, well, it's a cliche, it ticked all the boxes in terms of the repertoire and what the judges want to see. And then, of course, it was the big final against the yellow jersey leader, Felipe Toledo, and it was somewhat of a scrappy affair. And they really had to make the most of their opportunities, and Jack just surfing really well.
Really smooth. Toledo kind of set the pace, though, early in the final, and it was up to Jack to keep his cool. Here's one of Toledo's rides. I love the way this guy surfs on the backhand. On the forehand, has all that firepower, that dynamite, that fast twitch kind of motion to his moves, but yeah, on the backhand, he's showing that he can get it done as well.
Oh, he's just as fast, if not faster, in those transitions. And it was just, both of these guys are such naturally instinctive surfers. The moves that they choose are perfect for the sections that they're given.
Yeah, Jack on his feet in both those final heats, the hooter sounding as he was chasing down his scores. And you know, he didn't need the biggest number of the heat. That belonged to Felipe Toledo, but he was after a mid-range 6, ended up getting a 7, and he gets his 3rd victory. Unbelievable just how much he's come on in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, it really is. And the improvement, not just in the last couple of seasons, but actually in the last few years. I remember watching him at an event on the northern New South Wales coast only 2 or 3 years ago. And I noted some of the improvement, especially in the small wave. But mate, he has just come in leaps and bounds. He's worked on absolutely every element of his repertoire, and at the moment looking like a world beater.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting too, just to see what the top 10 picture looks like and see what surfers made up some great ground on the competitors that came into this one sitting in the top 5. And yeah, it'll be a big conversation, I'm sure, when we get over to the stop number 7.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely going to be a shake-up in the ratings, no doubt about it. And, well, Jack's looking solid. This is a huge result in terms of making that final 5 for lowers.
Most definitely. Let's have a look at the women's finals bracket, the ROXY Pro GLand. It went off, and we saw great performances from the opening round. Competitors getting locked in, finding the tubes out here, but in clean conditions today, some competitors really stood up over others.
Oh, definitely. The finalists today were the inform the whole event. You know, they just had a little edge in every heat, selecting the best waves, finding that perfect timing.
Yeah, I thought Karissa, much like Medina in the Quiksilver Pro, Karissa just sort of seemed to have that punch, that power, that extra little bit in each of her performances to the rest of the field, but she was reeled in that final heat.
Yeah, it was the semi-final with Joanne and Bronte, which I thought was a really, really interesting one. I felt like that one could have gone either way, and Bronte just getting caught a little bit short on the wave count. But Joanne was rock solid, and her consistency, which she normally brings, is just such a weapon for her now. But also she's starting to bring these big scores. So, again, another one who's just inching closer and closer to that final 5.
Yeah, she'd been so consistent too, but she needed a big breakthrough result.
I definitely felt whoever was going to win that heat out of Joanne and Bronte was going to take the event. Just in the form of that, they both were just looking so strong and dangerous.
Yeah, let's have a look at the run for Joanne, and we'll see some of those brilliant finishes on those high-impact sections here at GLand. And really, you know, that's where she set herself apart from the rest of the field, her ability to stay on her feet when she was attacking the closeouts here.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of her rides from start to finish just solid, foundation surfing, just underpinned by really good positioning and power. And as you said, Ronnie, just getting to the finish on all these waves. And it's that pedigree, all the time she spent growing up at St. Lou on the backhand. That's where all the foundation work was done. And just so much power off the top, huh?
And how cool is it seeing the high tide in the morning? They almost had all day to prepare for that low tide and just go bigger and bigger as the day went on.
Yeah, Joanne's run was a difficult one too. Up against Stephanie Gilmore, got the jump there, only just. But then in the semi-finals, overcame Bronte, and you know, she really did need these big finishes to get past Bronte, who was kind of flaring up. She had a great start to that semi-final clash.
I definitely thought Bronte was the one to beat this event. We all know how dangerous she is in the left-handers, especially when it's barreling, but just her turns were huge as well.
And then into the final, Rich, and Joanne, she fought for the inside when priority was neutral, and that might have been the key turning point in the final.
Yeah, I think there was actually two key turning points. What you've just mentioned, she got the inside track, fell into all the rhythm of the good waves that allowed her to open up and do this style of the backhand surfing. The other point is Karissa not making that final turn on that big wave that potentially could have been the score. You know, she needed a 9-1-7, got the 8-5, but that was with the end section where she fell.
I really do feel, though, even though Karissa fell at the end of this ride, that this is the surfing of a six-time world champion. This is like a level that other surfers are going to have to get to. She didn't find that second score, but she's kind of setting the pace for form and performance at the moment.
It's very go-to style performances that we're seeing from Karissa.
Go-tesc.
Yeah, go-tesc. And you feel like, the world titles are going to keep coming, and she's sort of mid-stride in her career.
3 finals for Karissa, and yet to get a victory this season, but you sense that it's around the corner. But for Joanne Defay, a really important moment. We mentioned that consistency, quarterfinaled in every event so far this season up until now. She is the ROXY Pro GLand champion, and there are her numbers. And as you can see, Karissa wasn't really too far behind.
No, not at all. And it was actually so exciting for the viewers when she did get that 8.5 and there was still just enough time left. There wasn't in the end, but, you know, anything could have happened.
Well, we don't even really need a reason to celebrate here at the Quiksilver and ROXY Pro GLand. Even on the lay days we were celebrating. But Joanne Defay is starting to feel good about what's coming her way in the form of a beautiful trophy here at the ROXY Pro GLand. We got the presentation just around the corner. Stay with us here on the Corona Post Show. Great to have your company on the Corona Post Show as the celebrations begin here for Jack Robinson. The presentation not too far away. And they know how to turn on a good party, Rich.
Oh, they sure do. The one thing the Indonesians do when there's any sort of a celebration to be had is they turn up in droves, and there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people down here to help celebrate and crown our true champions. And what an amazing event, back after 25 years. And, well, the Coronas are flowing already.
And Jack just finding his wife there, Julia. But Ronnie here with Dimidia and Rich for the Corona Post Show. And, the presentation's not too far away. But we do need the help of our audience in deciding some pretty big awards here this year, Dimity.
Oh, we do. We've got the GLand Goddess Awards. So, yeah, it's actually a big deal. They're making extra cash on the side. Yeah,
it's awesome to see. And we're really rewarding emotion, Rich, commitment. And we've seen plenty of that this week.
Oh, absolutely. Thinking back to the opening round and the barrel rides from Karissa and Tati and some of those committed performances on the end section over shallow reef. There's been so many gusto moments to share and celebrate.
Yeah. So, like we said, we're going to need your help deciding these moments. You can go to @WSL and have your say, or @ROXY. And here they are, the GLand Moments from the ROXY Pro this year. Tatiana Weston-Webb, she was always going to feature, just one of the most committed performers before the competition got underway, and once she had the jersey on, tucking into this wave on day one.
Day one, magic conditions, and she's, every heat she's going out, you're thinking, what's she going to do? So perfect nominee for the GLand Award.
And then Joanne Defay, well, she just blew our minds with her commitment to those final manoeuvres. And this one was from day 2, 7.3 for this one, Rich.
Yeah, that was a great committed turn, and she just carried that theme all the way through the week and eventually got the win with the committed surfing.
Bronte McCauley, this was her wave to kick off the semi-finals, I believe. It was an incredible ride. This one was a 7.83. And it just set her up so well. She couldn't find the backup, though.
I know, and this has to be my nomination. If I was to choose, it would have to go with Bronte because she just showed so much fire, commitment, emotion as well. She didn't get the win. I think she's still a goddess.
Joanne Defay's featuring a couple of times today because she just continued to give us big moments. This was a buzzer beater, Rich, a 6.3 here, and what was semi-final number 2?
Unfazed, composed, and just on, really consistent, and just great stuff from Joanne, and she is really just celebrating now. Great to see everyone. The disappointment of the heat losses are wiped away as the spray just flows, and Joanne can celebrate, and everyone's around her feeling that energy.
Yeah, definitely. And super psyched that ROXY got the GLand Awards happening, because they were kind of focusing on different things other than the standard criteria.
Yeah, exactly. And women are goddesses for doing not only just amazing comp surfing, but all kinds of things. And so cool they're able to earn a little extra cash on the side.
You're going to be my nomination, Dim, because I've got a feeling you're going to jump on the decks later on. Shimmy Disco is going to put the uniform on and go to work.
It's on. We're probably going to go live again on the ROXY feed, so tune in.
Let's have a look at the Women's Championship Tour rankings now, because for me this is going to be very interesting. Such a compressed field, and have a look at the movement that there has been. And Dimity, you look at some of the competitors that came into this one inside the 5, and now they've dropped down the rankings a little bit, others making a move in the right direction. Oh
yeah, this is so exciting, and it just feel like it's going to chop and change so much in the next few events. But it's almost like the ones who are usually in that top 5 are slowly making their way up to their usual positions.
Joanne Rich must have just put a circle around the ROXY Pro GLand when she saw the schedule and looked at that as a massive opportunity to lock in a big result. She's jumped from 8th place now right up in the 3rd position.
Yeah, talk about, just climbing that ladder straight up the ratings, and she's done so well there. The other one there too is Stephanie Gilmore, who's starting to make her run up when you think about where she was 2 or 3 events ago and how far she's come up the ratings from just saving a spot on tour, and now she's up around number 7, I think it was, and also Tati's in the final 5 at the moment too.
Yeah, I think we all have to keep reminding ourselves that Steph's an event behind the rest of the field. She missed that opening event, so she's playing an extra bit of catch-up at the moment, but doing a good job and heading in the right direction. Let's have a look at the Men's Championship Tour rankings now. Felipe Toledo, we know that he's going to be hanging on to that number 1 jersey, but not too far behind. In fact, right there in his shadow is Jack Robinson now with 2 victories this season.
And look at the points, 32-2. It's just too close to count, really.
Yeah, John Florence still hanging in the 5. That's going to be an interesting story when we get to that next stop. Of course, wearing the knee brace during this event, Rich.
Yeah, unfortunately for John, just having that injury, it didn't seem to really hinder his performance, but out relatively early in his own standards. But I think I really like that 5 through to 7 with Griff and Ethan and those guys in Italo down there. That is really heating up as a battle.
Well, we've got some amazing trophies in the sport of surfing, but I think the ROXY Pro, the Quiksilver Pro GLand trophies, they're something to behold. We're going to hand them out now. We'll throw it down to Joe Tapel.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. And I'm right there with you, Ronnie. These are some of the best trophies I've ever seen. And everybody here on hand, Matur Nguyen, thank you for hosting us so well here in East Java. We actually love being in the jungle. This has been a very special time for pro surfing, and thank you for sharing it with us. It's been a very special time. This is the official presentation for the Quiksilver and ROXY Pro GLand, which is stop number 6 on the 2022 World Surf League Championship Tour. And it's been a long time, 25 years since the last event was run here in 1997. Big shout out once again to Luke Egan, who won this contest in incredible fashion. Chris Gallagher, runner-up that season, was here on deck coaching Karissa Moore and Jake Marshall in this series. Shane Beshin winning the year before, and Kelly Slater in 95. But also groundbreaking, having the first ever competition for the women here at the ROXY Pro GLand. Thank you so much, Jesse Miley Dyer, Andrew Stark, WSL for Equality on Tour, equal events, and we've crowned our first champion ever of the ROXY Pro GLand. This place is extra special, being in the jungle, being amongst the environment, just falling in love with the beauty, and especially this perfect left-hand reef break. It was definitely the most anticipated event on the calendar. Big shout out to Rio Waida representing Indonesia. Let's give him a round of applause. Proud of you, Rio. Inspiring performance. Can't wait to see you run on the Challenger Series representing Indonesia so well. Let's also hear for Gabriel Medina. What a comeback. Straight to 3rd place finish after spending a lot of time at home in the off season. I want to mention also ROXY wildcard Bronte McCauley. You have been very inspiring. What a legend you are. Tatiana Weston-Webb, dangerous as well, getting incredibly barreled to kick off this competition. This was also the first live broadcast ever executed here in the jungle. A big shout out to the whole broadcast crew for all the hard work getting this done for the very first time ever. I'd like to thank our title sponsors, Quiksilver, ROXY, Corona, Red Bull, Oakley, Hydro Flask, Expedia, Shiseido, Oakberry, Yamaha, Banyuwangi, and wonderful Indonesia. Thank you for the support. We'd also like to thank our local partners, Bupati Banyuwangi and her whole team, Taman National Alas Purwo, the National Park, PLN, Telkom, and Telkomsel, and also Pertamina. Thank you so much. Matur Nuin. Special thank you to Tippy Jabrik. You're an absolute legend, one of the amazing surfers in Indonesia. Thank you to Tippy and also his entire team at ASC. We'd like to thank the GLand Surf Camps, Bobby's, Joyos, Jack's, Jawa Jiwa, the local community for hosting us so well. That's our favorite takeaway, no matter where we go, meeting these special people and sharing us to this special place. We can't thank you enough. Thank you all to the craftsmen who built these incredible trophies that are special for this region, representing the tiger here. Luke's got one of those, and we've got some fresh champions this year. Special acknowledgement and also our sustainability recognition. We are really grateful to be back here in this very beautiful and historic place. We pay our respects to the Banyuwangi people who are committed to preserving their rich biodiversity, nature, and culture here in the Alas Purwo National Park. We gather in the southeast corner of Java Island to ensure the sustainability of these outstanding ecosystems, natural resources, and waves. Together, we are one ocean. We are also deeply grateful for our community partners who joined us to lead sustainability efforts here at GLand, from our Surf Conservation Partnership, Sungai Watch, you guys are incredible, Sea Trees as well, and the partners who supported all these initiatives, Quiksilver, ROXY, and Corona, and Shiseido. Thanks for all that you do. Help us up here with the awards today. Let's have a round of applause for Jesse Miley Dyer, WSL SVP of Tours and Head of Competition. You're an all-star, Jess. Also like to acknowledge Andrew Stark, right next to her, WSL Asia Pacific General Manager. A great job as well. Starkey, incredible performance out there in the water as well. Also like to announce Mrs. Ipuk Fistiandani Bupati of Banyuwangi. You're incredible. Thank you. So now it's time to represent our surfers that made the final, starting with the Quiksilver Pro GLand, a very familiar face. Let's give a warm welcome to world number 1, Felipe Toledo. Felipe Toledo featuring in his 3rd final this year. Felipe wearing the yellow jersey proudly as he's got his sights set on another appearance at Lower Trestles this year. Hold that tiger up. Felipe, how has your experience been in the jungle this year?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's here right now, and for the WSL for putting such an amazing event together. It was a really great experience being here. Being in the jungle and, got to know a new place. It was my first time here. Really happy, really appreciate. I want to say thank you everyone at Joyos that, just worked so hard for us to have an amazing experience. Thank you so much. All my sponsors, my family, my team that's right here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And all the Brazilians, and congrats to Jack. Amazing surfing, the entire event. To Joanne and Karissa as well. Really happy to be in the position that I am right now, and yeah, let's just keep going.
Still strong in yellow. That's got to feel good heading into El Salvador.
Oh yeah, it feels great. Another battle coming my way, and I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep giving my best. I'm gonna keep, doing everything I can to win and keep the yellow jersey, and yeah, I just want to thank God. Feel so blessed right now, and yeah, cheers to everybody. Thanks.
Parabéns, monstro. Enjoy the moment. Felipe Toledo, your runner-up. First time ever we had the ROXY Pro GLand, and we have one of the most famous names in pro surfing finishing runner-up this year, a 5-time world champ, Olympic gold medalist from the island of Oahu. Let's hear it for Karissa Moore. Karissa Moore putting a stellar season together. Great job, Riss. Got a big trophy to grab there from Starkey. Riss, a stellar season. I saw you up and down checking out the different spots here in East Java. First trip here?
First trip.
And a special one as well, going all the way to the final. How did you come to grips with this new lineup for the first time?
You know, I came and I was a little nervous about figuring it out and doing something different, but it reminded me a lot of home and surfing a wave called Bowls on the South Shore. And the people have been just really nice and good vibes all around.
You spend a lot of time with Joanne Defay, and I feel like we've had this conversation before at podiums around the world. What's it like to have a good friend like Joe in the final with you?
I mean, getting to spend so much time with Joanne, I've seen how hard she works and how much of her heart and soul she puts into everything. And, you know, I'm really happy for her. Congratulations.
Karissa, you're such an amazing surfer. Have you taken a moment to digest the final and what you could have done to maybe possibly win it? I know you're always striving for excellence.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely made a few mistakes. But I had a lot of fun, and I'm going to focus on the positives.
Well done. Enjoy the moment, Karissa. You're still #1 in the world.
Thanks, Joe.
Karissa Moore, runner-up at the ROXY Pro GLand in the first ever edition here in East Java. And now a man who's been on quite a roll, the best roll of his young career. Let's hear it for your champion of the Quiksilver Pro GLand, Jack Robinson. Jack Robinson has gone back-to-back. Well, let's get this special trophy. Thanks, Jess. Can hold that up quickly. Jack, there's this special time when you watch an athlete realize their potential and find a special place in their headspace and their performance where you've gone back-to-back. We saw that with Italo in 2019 from Portugal to Pipeline. It's not something you see every day. From winning at your hometown, now to GLand. Does this feel surreal or everything that you planned?
It's nothing planned in the end, is it? It's like, it's so unpredictable for me, you know. I'm just in a good place in my mind, and I'm not expecting too much right now, just one by one, and that's what I was like this contest, even at the last contest. Yeah, I feel in a good place, and it's just staying focused as well. Yeah.
You've surfed in a lot of heats, but have you had that feeling twice ever in your life with the clock running out, the horn going off through your first turn, and back-to-back heats from Medina to Toledo in succession? Have you ever felt that before?
Yeah, certain moments. Maybe before I got onto it, even as a kid, I took it that seriously, you know? It's like, maybe that prepared my mind for it, you know, just being in those situations. But when they're that good, you know, the other guys, you can't really worry about them, can you? Yeah, I was just on my mission, and yeah, thank you, GLand. Thanks, everybody here. Thanks for having us, everybody a part of this event, everyone with me, supporting me. Some people not here right now, my family back home, people all around, you know who you are. And also a friend that passed away a few days ago. He always comes here, John Dutton from Margaret River. I want to send good vibes to the family and peace, and yeah. Thank you. I don't know if that wave was from him, but thank you.
Enjoy the moment, Jack. You're #2 in the world.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Jack Robinson, your champion of the Quiksilver Pro GLand, and doing it with 2 back-to-back buzzer beaters here on Finals Day. We've got one surfer waiting. She's now the queen of every left-hand reef break around the world. Let's hear it for your first ever ROXY Pro GLand champion, Joanne Defay. Joanne Defay, dominates cloud break, has won at Uluwatu. She's actually won in small lefts in Huntington at the US Open. She's got a powerful backhand. And now she's got a tiger, the first ever ROXY Pro GLand. Oh, félicitations. You want to hold it up real quick? I kind of rattled off your other wins really quickly, but how different is it that you are the first to ever win the ROXY Pro GLand?
Yeah, it is feeling pretty surreal and amazing. It's been a long week, I think, for everybody, you know, the people that's working behind the scene and all the surfers. We finally got that day, you know, with good waves, and I'm so happy to come on top.
When you look back at all your heat draws and matchups on road to that big win, what are you most proud of looking back?
I feel like that hit with Courtney could have been like either way. Courtney is such a strong backside surfer, and obviously, I don't know, everybody, you know, Bronte in the semi is very difficult, and she had nothing to lose, and obviously my third final with Karissa was just so special, and I'm so happy to have shared another one with her.
I was asking her, you guys have been roommates in the past, meeting again in the final. Does that make it extra special? Because I remember when you had your good friend Batendog in finals, that would bring an extra competitive fire. Does Riss bring the same out of you?
For sure. I think Riss is actually really bringing the best out of every girl on tour. She's the best of the best, you said it. She's like 5-time world champ and Olympic champion. So it's definitely just great as a surfer to be able to like be against her and challenge her.
Really special heading into El Salvador, number 3 in the world. Exciting times for Joanne Defay. Enjoy the moment, the first ever ROXY Pro champ.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. I really want to thank also all the people here, the local, the camp, the people behind the scene. I know like it's a jungle and it's really hard to put the event on out here. And also want to send all my love to my family and my partner, Simon, back at home. And thank you to my dad for being here with me. And yeah, it's just so special. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys have got the Coronas ready? Enjoy the show. We'll send it back to the Corona Post Show with Ronnie Blakey and enjoy the celebration. Matur Nguyen. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Joey. And a great job down there and fantastic as celebrations get underway. And look at those trophies. Wouldn't you love one of those, Rich?
Sure would, mate. Absolutely. Oh, mate, that's they're one of the best trophies that you could ever want to win, I reckon.
Yeah, it is a special feeling for those competitors. But let's check out what the Final 5 picture looks like at the moment for the competitors on the men's and women's side. It is going to get really intense as we move through these last few events of the regular season, especially when you consider that there was competitors that were sort of hanging around the back end of the top 10 that have now jumped up into a position to potentially have a crack at a final at the Rip Curl WSL Finals in September, where they'll chase world title glory. But it was a huge jump for Joanne Defay.
Huge jump, and she belongs there, so it's going to be very interesting to see if any of those bottom runners can overtake, but right now it's looking pretty stacked.
On the women's side, so Joanne got herself into the picture, but Rich, on the men's side, it was basically a little reshuffle in the Final 5 picture.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously Felipe right up at the top there, and Ethan hanging on, although he sort of dipped out of the event about midway through. And just on the women's side as well, we should note that Tyler, you know, she had a bit of bad luck here, obviously getting unwell and not being able to compete, so she's hanging on to the number 4 spot on the women's side. But look, they're both really healthy Final 5s if they were to just go to lowers now, but there's obviously still a lot of runway before we get there.
Yeah, that's right. Let's have a look at the schedule and eyeing off the next stop, which is the Surf City El Salvador Pro, presented by Corona. And that kicks off on June 12th, so it's a pretty quick turnaround for the competitors.
Yeah, it's very quick, and it's, you know, another hot climate, so they'll just have enough time just to get there and one warm-up surf, and then heats are on.
Straight into it. Rich, who do you think it works for when you consider the winners here at the ROXY and Quiksilver Pro GLand?
in terms of El Salvador.
Just the rest of the schedule. Do you like their chances, Joanne and Jack's chances of getting themselves a spot consolidated and potentially a crack at a world title when we get to the Rip Curl WSL Finals at Lower Trestles?
Yeah, I really do. You know, Jack's on a roll. There's no doubt about it. Back-to-back wins. You know, you can't just... It's going to take, a pretty significant moment for him to get off that train. You know, he's kind of on it. He's riding it. He just said he's feeling really good and he's centered and his boards are feeling good. You can just tell when someone is on, and I can't see that momentum shifting. And Joanne, I feel like her momentum's going upwards as well. So I'd be really surprised if both Jack and Joanne don't make the final five. I really will.
Yeah, I think the women's race to those finals, though, Dimity, are going to be a little bit more intense just with that compressed field. I still think we'll see a lot of movement.
Oh, we will. And you saw that little green arrow upwards next to Steph's name. The next two stops are just going to be bread and butter for her. Perfect right-hand point breaks, her go-to.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch for sure. Let's get stuck into the top 5 moments, and our runner-ups at this year's event will be taking a couple of special trophies home because they dominated the iconic For a Reason expression session, which saw some of the iconic shapers bring boards to us and gave us the opportunity to kind of wind back the clock and see a different approach out here.
Yeah, they're going to have room in their board bags for these beautiful boards because there's a lot more volume in those than their normal quiver.
Yeah, that was Isabella Nichols there, but Felipe, he kind of won our hearts, Rich, with just his style and flow on that Terry Fitzgerald shape.
Yeah, not necessarily getting the biggest waves in this expression session, but it was all the style and really tapping into that traditional way of surfing there on one of those Terry Fitz, just classic boards with the air spray on the bottom. Just awesome stuff.
Coming into number 4 in our top 5 moments, It was the action from day number 1 where we had some clean conditions and surfers like Griffin Colapinto took full advantage.
Oh, look at this. This is, real textbook GLand. Long walls, just shimmering sunshine and the offshore breeze. And Griffin just connected with this wave so well. Timing was perfect, a great variety of turns. And, this was one of the biggest scores of the entire event.
Yeah, looking on, isn't he, at a 9.33 for this wave, and just looks so strong at the moment. Tatiana Weston-Webb also lit up day 1 with some beautiful barrel riding.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't wait to see Tatiana get barreled, and look at this perfect one, set it up beautifully. Conditions couldn't have got much more perfect than that for day 1.
Yeah, I just love Tatiana's approach. She's looking like a very informed competitor as we move through these first 6 events of the schedule. Has a victory as well, so we'll see if she can capture another one in the back half of the year. Then we had the buzzer beater moment for Jack Robinson coming through at number 3. Had a couple of these on finals day, but this was a huge one against the most informed surfer of the contest.
Yeah, just talk about holding your nerve and being able to perform under pressure. And Jack Robbo loved this wave, so much variety. And I think that's why the judges really did eat it up, because he just showed everything in the repertoire and he had pedal to the metal all the way to the end.
Yeah, well, the arguments are unfolding online. A lot of people saw it going Gabrielle's way, but there's no denying that backhand snap. That was throwing a lot of risk just on one of the first critical sections. Coming in at number 2, he's owning the top 5 at the moment. Jack Robinson getting the win here at the Quiksilver Pro GLand.
Oh, he's so exciting, and coming off a win at Margie's, just such an opposite wave to this. We've got high performance, left hand barrels, tight turns. He's got it all.
The evolution continues, Rich.
Well, to put your name up against the likes of, the other winners from this event, 25-year hiatus since we were back here in GLand for the men, and to put your name alongside some of the greats like Luke Egan and Kelly Slater, well, that's just unbelievable.
Don't forget Shane Beshan,
And
mate.
Shane Beshan, of course. And, soaking in the celebrations. Great to be back here, and hopefully we come back again.
Yeah, well, number 1. At the very first ROXY Pro GLand, Joanne Defay victorious. That track record on these reef breaks, it's intact on the backhand. She is so hard to beat.
Oh, she's so dangerous, and how amazing is that title? First ever ROXY Pro GLand champ.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Sounds good.
Got a good ring to it, breaking new ground here, and Joanne, it was solid from the start, wasn't it? Her opening heat, she just started to attack and show that form, and it took her all the way through. She didn't miss a beat.
We could almost call her the queen of the left-hand reef.
Oh, definitely. I think her rivals already consider her that individual. They know how dangerous she is and how comfortable she is over sections of reef that really do require a different level of commitment. And although the surf ridge wasn't huge this week, the surfers still had to put it on the line.
Yeah, they did, and you know, you'd have to say, well, 99% of the time it was turns and you know, critical moves in the power source of the wave. We didn't see a lot of barrel riding, so it's going to be interesting when we do get to Chopu, and we know it's going to be all about riding barrels there, and that's going to really make that final five, the race for that final five, super interesting on both sides, men and women. But yeah, she's riding top of the wave at the moment.
Dimity, your final thoughts on the ROXY Pro GLand? Obviously, it was great to see the women out there for the first time.
Oh, it was paradise, wasn't it? Like, what a better way to have the first ever ROXY Pro and GLand, and just can't wait to come back, really.
Rich, what about you, mate? It was an emotional return at times.
It was. I've got, you know, some of the gnarliest and spookiest, scariest, you know, life-threatening moments of my life were right here. I've also had some incredible moments as well, you know, riding 10-point waves. So it's been a mixture of emotions being back here, but really loving it. It's been an awesome experience. I think all the surfers have enjoyed being in part of this whole event, you know, soaking up all the camps, having time in the water, having fun times on land as well. So it's been a real privilege to be here, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, we're going to go make some more memories now at the after party. But the surfers are going to have to get set because they've got a quick trip to make over to the Surf City El Salvador Pro presented by Corona. That kicks off on June 12th. We'll see you there. Until then, enjoy the highlights and stay tuned for all the news on worldsurfleague.com.
Selamat pagi and welcome to this incredible jungle. Grajagan, GLand, one of the best left-handers in the world.
Grabs the rail, tucks into the tube, finding a way through this one. And she gets the exit. Tatiana tucking in. Wow.
I had to die to be reborn. Rest in the pieces.
Speed jam off the top for Robinson. Pulls in under the hood. One of the best tube riders in the world.
When it's one last breath and you left and you feeling it's best and just leave it. Then the memory of everything I'm leaving behind starts to creep in my
Slamming on the brakes, pulling into the cylinder. Ethan Ewing gets the exit.
I start believing. Then I rise to my feet and leap in the beast and rise from the grass and fly through the avenue. Better hide cause I'm after you. Yeah, now I'm ready for battle. I'm stronger, I'm agile.
Rio locking in. Then he'll find his way through. Only 15 seconds to go. Samuel Pupo gets the jump on the 11-time world champion.
Jadson only chasing a 4.55. Jadson has just eliminated world number 2, John Florence.
And you just have to lose. When you backed up with a matchup of this magnitude, I rip past your crew. Leave a wind blast with an impact of 10 packs of bulls. It's irrational.
The goofy foot from West Oz with an aggressive start.
To move. I'm coming at you.
Pulling in to a hollow cave.
Coming at you like a bullet in a bad mood. I feel supernatural. If you have to, bring it on me to back you. I feel supernatural.
Powerful backside hack.
Supernatural. I feel supernatural.
Jack Robinson up in time. Belt under the lip into the pit.
Coming at you like a bullet in a bad mood. I feel supernatural.
And through half his board away.
Bring it on me to back you. I feel supernatural.
Joanne Defay is going to be the champion of the ROXY Pro GLand.
Jack Robinson, he does it again. The champion of the Quiksilver Pro GLand. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.